Hello everybody, how's it going? Carl Screezel here and I hope you're all well, and welcome back to World Warships, where today we are playing the Alsace, of course, the French battleship, Tier 9 battleship, designed as a fast battleship, sort of based off of the Richelieu class. It was going to be a faster variant with a X turret, I think it is the rear one. Well, basically a rear turret. So you have an extra turret on board. So you have the rear turret as well as the two frontal turrets. Now, the ship didn't get built. None were completed, of course, because World War II it didn't go very well for the French. But the idea of the ship was going to be an interesting one, and it worked quite well as a good flanker slash almost like a scout battleship. You don't have you don't quite have the armor and gun power of some of the other battleships of Tier 9, so you do struggle a little bit with that. But what you lack for in the armor and guns, you do make up for in speed, maneuverability, and also good secondaries and fire chance. The ship has a 33% fire chance to it, which is pretty damn good for a battleship. A non-British battleship, that is. It's got decent range on its weaponry as well. You have the option of a fighter consumable or a spotter, and I usually go with a fighter just to be a bit safer. Of course, you have the ever popular French skill of the speed booster. So you get some decent speed out of this ship when it's going, and if you play it well, it can be quite a good, effective ship. So right now the plan is to go around A and sort of flank a little bit. Now I've got the AP loaded at the moment, and just trying to figure out what's going on the map as well. Obviously the enemy has an aircraft carrier, because this is the Asian World Warships server, and it has only a couple of sorry, I think the sound was playing up there for a moment. It only has a couple of what was I going to say? Word has gone. Word has gone from me. But yeah, the ship is a very good fast battleship. It's more armoured than a battle cruiser, of course. It is a full battleship rather than a battle cruiser. So you have got that bit of extra armour. If you've played the Richelieu or the Jean Bart, you know roughly how this thing's going to play. It's very similar in that respect, but of course you have got that extra turret at the rear. Overall, the ship is, you do suffer a little bit from being a Tier 9 ship with a Tier 8 ship hull, effectively, but the Jean Bart has the same issue really, and that's the same tier as you, of course. So it's not a terrible ship overall. It just suffers a little bit here and there. So we've got a Miyoko in our sights. We're being fired on by the Heisen over there as well, so just keep an eye on that, of course. Since the change in the captain skills, of course, you don't have the detection skills are sort of standard really anymore, so you can't see how many people are aiming at you, things like that, which I think is quite a good change in all honesty, because it does promote a little bit more of a aggressive stance, because you don't know if people are aiming their guns at you, of course, so you have to just kind of go, well, alright, I don't think there's any guns aimed at me, so let's go for this. So we're currently quite heavily over the side of A, and you can see the enemy really has the C side covered. The enemy has a lot of ships over in C, and our Heisen has just taken out their Alaska, but we are 2 ships down already, so things aren't looking so good for us. There's a Musashi coming in. We've got the island between us and the Yamato's sister ship there. So, you know, of course, we're just going to take some pot shots of that, and we actually get some good hits there. 5 penetrations. Whew, boy, that was a nice bit of damage to the Musashi there. When these guns hit, they hit relatively hard. Now, they are 380mm guns, so they're a little bit smaller on the caliber. You know, you don't have the guns of... They are 380, aren't they? Yeah, pretty sure they're 380. I'm trying to remember now. I think the 406 was planned for it. Yeah, the 406 was planned for it, but they ended up with the 380s on there. But you have got them in quad turrets, so you've got 12 guns to bear, which is quite useful. So you do have a lot of guns with some okay damage and penetration ability, but of course, being only 380mm, only 380mm, you know, you forget how silly the size of these guns are. 380mm guns are bloody huge in all due respect. In all honesty, a 380mm gun is ridiculous, especially in a quad turret. You know, but when you're fighting things like the Musashi, which has 420mm guns, you know, they are a bit undergunned at this tier. You know, everything else has, you know, around about the 400mm guns up until the Italians come in. But one thing this does mean is you don't over-penetrate quite as much as things like not the Richelieu, the slightly bigger French ships, which have those higher caliber, those 421mm guns on board, you know, which just overpen on everything, and it can be very frustrating. Alright, we've got the Heisen there, and we're currently chasing it down. We've got our speed booster activated, and as you can see, we're over 34 knots at the moment, so we've got a nice bit of speed, and we're going to catch up to that Heisen. You know, it can't really outrun us. So we've switched to HE shells now, and we're going to try our luck with the HE shells. We've not really got much else to shoot at. Got the Georgia over here, as well as a couple of cruisers with us. And we get some nice damage there with the HE shells. 1 non-penetration, but 3 penetrations. And this is the thing about the ship, is the HE shells are quite good. The French battleships, these 380mm guns do have very good HE damage to them, and they've also got a very good fire chance as well. You've got a fire chance of 33%, which really can help you out quite a lot. So we're going to bring our rear guns to bear. All guns firing a full broadside, and we'll see what we can do against the Heisen with all of our guns there. We get 4 penetrations, so not too bad. Obviously, you know, HE penetration is not going to be as much as an AP one, but being that the ship is, well, it's running away from us at the moment, it's not really facing us, we don't have a broadside to it, we might get some penetrations with the AP due to plunging fire, because they are dropping down on the ship, but HE is probably our best option. The Ognovoy over there is just reversing, so we take a quick shot with that with our rear turret. 2 penetrations there. Again, you know, not huge damage numbers, but we're whittling down the Heisen over there, and that's what we're quite good at, is just whittling down the enemy. This ship is not going to be your star. It's not going to be the MVP of the team generally. It's not a ship that's known for its sheer capability, but it is a good all-rounder, and that's the thing. It doesn't really excel at any one point, I'd say, but it is good at a lot of other things. It doesn't quite have the armour of other ships at its level, but it has got some good speed to it. It doesn't quite have the guns of some of the other ships, but again, it's got some good other options to it. We fire at the Heisen there, it's on fire. and we get some good hits, and the Lexington gets the kill with the fire, but we manage to take it out with our HE shells there. So that's one threat down. We're still down a couple of ships at the moment, and we're down on points as well. We've just lost the Georgia and the Izumo, so we've just lost 2 battleships there in the span of seconds. So things are not looking too good for us. There is an enemy destroyer on this side, so again, not the best, not ideal for us, obviously. Things could be better on this side of the map. We're pretty much on our own. We've got the Yorick just to the side of us, just sort of coming up from behind. The Algeria over there is about to get absolutely schwacked. Sorry, not the Yorick, the Rune, sorry. We've got a Rune coming over to sort of help us out, but we're pretty much buggered at this stage. You can see the enemy team have really pushed us into the side of the corner. Baja there, the Baya just taking out the Algeria. We've got this Yorick on our sights, and we're starting to fire the HE shells at him as well, just because he was sort of face in. He's turned to come in to the side, and this would be the perfect time to start firing those AP shells. But we've got the HE loaded, and we've managed to set a secondary fire. Looks like he's just put out a, just used his damage control. So he's got torpedoes coming in and HE. We've managed to incapacitate his torpedo tubes. He's got flooding damage as well, so he's going to be taking damage over time. So this is good. The Yorick, of course, we've got to be careful because German HE shells can be quite devastating. So we want to try and get this guy out of the match as soon as possible. Waiting for all the guns to reload, and the Asashio manages to take it out. The enemy Bahi there is sitting broadside to us, really giving us a juicy target to hit, and there's the Georgia coming in as well. So the HE shells just gone over there. Didn't have any penetrations, but we managed to set a fire, so we'll get some damage from that, which is always nice. But this Georgia is showing us quite a bit of broadside at the moment, like the Bayi over there. That Bayi's on full health, mind you. That guy was on full health when we started. So just remember that. Now we're down to 4 ships to the enemy's 5, so we've kind of equalled it up. It did slow down a bit, so we really whiffed our shots there, unfortunately. That could have been a very nice hit. But this Georgia is coming in at us. Now our secondaries are going to start opening fire. And this is where this ship can be very good. Secondaries are pretty damn useful on this ship. It has some good secondary damage. So, trying to decide what to shoot at. There's the Enterprise over there. It's a CV, so it needs to be shot at, because CVs are the scum of the earth. So we take a shot at the Enterprise there. The Bahi's down to 60,000 health points. The Georgia is starting to pummel us a little bit, and we've got the enemy destroyer to our right there. Down to 3 ships now, so we have got 2 ships. They've got the 2-ship advantage on us. The Georgia is going to take some shots, but we managed to tank most of them here, and we get some good broadside shots there. We managed to take almost, with 12,000 damage there on the Georgia. Our rear turret's going to swing by, and that's going to give us a Citadel, and that is the end of the Georgia. All 4 penetrated, all 4 Citadel shots. Our secondaries, as you can see, are just racking up damage right now. I'm just going to angle to the Bayi just there. You can see we sort of started off that little bit of a fight with about 50,000 damage. Now we're over 100,000 damage. This Bayi is really showing us broadside again, so got to get off the AP shells there, and they go straight into the torpedo bulge and ricochet. What joy. You gotta love that. You've really gotta love that. Got torpedoes coming in from the Enterprise. CV is, again, not much you can really do to it. It used to be that you'd fire a CV and it would cause the torpedoes to go all over the place, but nowadays nothing at all. But finally, the broadside of that Bayi has really ended up costing it quite a lot. We slowed down to avoid torpedoes from the Italian destroyer, and we've managed to now get to a point where we are in the lead. Sorry, I think that was the Russian, the Ognovoy. sorry, I thought it was Italian, but we've managed to set a fire onto him as well with our secondaries. So secondaries again showing off their usefulness. But now we've got to start capping because we are at a points deficit, and we're in a bit of a bad spot. So the Ognavoy there is, well, that's a dead ship there. So they have lost all but one of their ships, and that last ship unfortunately is a CV, and it's the Enterprise. So we are going to have problems here. So we've got to turn in to try and start capping. So that means I'm going to eat some torpedoes here. And really could use the RCV giving us some fighter cover. Which of course is not going to happen too easily. Now the SAS does have almost a 50% torpedo reduction, so it is quite tanky on torpedoes. I think it's like 47% torpedo reduction damage, which is very useful indeed. We are down to 10,000 health though, so we are at a point where things are not looking good. The CV has dropped fighters for us at least, so we have got some protection, but it kind of dropped them a little bit too early because there's not really any enemy planes coming over. The Lexington really needed to just hang around us and sit here, wait for the enemy to start coming in with dangerous ships. Did spot the Enterprise for us, so that's something. And we're very lucky not to get a fire there, because that could have been the end of us if we had a fire. Trying to capture this point, and finally the Rune is starting to come in to give us a hand. So we finally got a chance to sort of get these aircraft away from us. The Enterprise is going to be coming around the corner. And this is where the Rune really comes in and gives us a hand. Beto TFW, thank you so much for this, because you're going to see some amazing teamwork in a moment from this guy. We've got torpedoes coming in. Now, we are at a point where our torpedoes are going to really hurt us, but this Rune is coming in to basically protect us. Torpedoes are dropped, we are starting to turn away, we're trying to avoid them, and this Rune comes in and manages to take the torpedoes for us. Really, really awesome of that guy. You know, he had the health for it and managed to save us from those torpedoes, because we're still at a point where we can lose this game. We are very much in a dangerous point, and now I've really got to start thinking about running away, because I can't stick around and let the CV just keep attacking me. I want to try and keep close and obviously help the Rune out with some anti-aircraft fire. But that Enterprise is going to really start just absolutely decimating us if we get too close. And again, it's just that problem of CVs, really, isn't it? It's what do you do about the CVs? Historically, a CV was very strong. I mean, that's the thing, is, you know, they are strong ships, but in Modern Warships, they're a bit too strong sometimes. Anyway, the Rune has got the CV in sight and is going to absolutely punish that guy, thankfully. And that is really the end of that match. So we can see the enemy Enterprise, instead of focusing us down, went for the Rune, and that really helped us out and got us the victory for that match. So let's head to the post-battle screen results. And that really goes to show the power of teamwork. Thank you so much to that Rune, who pretty much saved my life there. Just taking those torpedo hits really helped out, as we were getting focused down by that CV, and there's not much you can do really against a CV in a battleship, of course, because well, the warships, yay. But we did pretty well in that match. Now, my ANZCAR is spec'd more towards a secondary build, obviously, and you can see got quite a lot of secondary hits. 25 aircraft shot down as well. 72 main hits, 136,000 damage. Not a huge amount of damage, but we also got Dreadnought, because we're also... I expect the ship to basically be a bit tanky. I'll show you once we get there. Team score, we finished 4th, so that's always nice. And we got the achievement, which is also nice. And as I say, that Rune MVP, I definitely sent him a compliment. You know, thank you so much, Rune. Beto TFW, awesome job. yeah, 26 planes shot down. You can see how much we were being focused on by that CV there. It really did hurt us. We did manage to sink 2 ships, though. As you can see, detailed report. We didn't do huge amounts of damage to enemy ships. The Georgia and the Bai. Obviously, we took out and did some really good damage to them. The Georgia just getting in the wrong spot at the wrong time, really, with us. We managed to get that rear turret round and really do some damage. The Yorick, of course, getting that fire on board really helped as well. You could see high explosive damage. We didn't do too much damage. It was mainly the AP shells, of course. But 20k damage with HE. Not too bad, in all honesty. And then with fires, obviously 24,000 damage in fires, and that's the main thing that we got there, is the fire damage. We did a great job with that one. So yeah, worked out quite well in the end. Made about quarter of a million credits, so not too bad, and some nice XP as well, RP. So let's just head back to the port. So my captain here for the Assas, I have the gun feeder and consumable specialist. Honestly, I don't think consumable specialist is that needed. It doesn't really make that much difference. I'm probably gonna get rid of that when I get an extra point, just so I can chuck it into something a little bit more useful. I probably should actually put it in pyrotechnician. Let's just do that quickly. I'll wait until this is finished anyway. We've got the AA skill as well, and that really helped us out there, as well as the secondary and, of course, adrenaline rush. I've not taken the Deadeye skill, as you can see, because I like to play this ship like a bit of a brawler. The Alsace is not the best brawler in the world, but it has got some good secondaries on board, and you've got some good range with those secondaries as well. 10-kilometer range. They do pretty well in all respects, and they're pretty decent in all honesty. The other thing as well is French battleships with that 380mm MLE 1945. You've got a 37% chance of fire, so you do a lot of fires with these ships. They're pretty good for causing fires, and the Alsace can be very good like that. I don't have quite a lot of luck in the Alsace as well. I have thought about preventative maintenance as well, but honestly, French turrets do get knocked out quite a bit, so it could be useful. But I think pyrotechnician could be a better option, or the emergency repair skill as well. The emergency repair specialist may be a good one as well, just because we want to go for that slightly tanky build. Although it's more offense than defense, of course, which is the big thing with the Alsace. Is, you know, it doesn't quite have the armor to be a really decent brawler in some respects. You know, it's not like a German battleship with a turtle back, and you know, it can take a big severe punishment. If we just jump out and actually have a look at the armor layout for the ship, you can see we've got 32mm of plate armor, 430mm on the turrets as well, 195 on the tops, of course, but the turrets tend to get knocked out quite a lot on French ships. I do find that quite often. Citadel-wise, we have got the sort of an okay citadel. Obviously, it's not below the waterline too much, but you have got 350mm of armour on there. Frontally as well, you've got quite decent amounts of citadel protection. The other thing as well is of course, your main citadel is here. So you have got a bit of spaced armour between it, so you can sometimes get quite lucky. It's not the easiest ship to citadel, and that can help out quite a lot in close range, of course. So it is quite useful in that respect. Deck armour as well, you've got quite a lot on the citadel, but your deck armour is 32mm as well, so again can help against things like American and HE bombers. You can get a little bit of luck with that as well. So yeah, I do like the Alsace. It's a fun ship to play, and it's a pretty sturdy ship. As I said, it's not the most tanky ship in the world, but it's quite a good brawler. As I say, the secondaries are very good on it. When you're using the HE shells, it can do quite a lot of damage, and in the end it can be quite fun to play. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this little video, and I will catch you all next time. Bye bye.